she didn't come from royalty. So she was just like an everyday person happened to marry into royalty. And she was always in Africa. She was always in these different African countries doing philanthropy and bringing attention to just issues like hunger and all those kinds of things. So she just, I like that about her. And so, yeah.
It's just certain people that
Friends. That didn't give me pause. Not to say that I was okay with him dying, but
I'm not okay with nobody dying.
Right. But yeah, no.
Because I was that way with Tupac, too. Like, what happened? To let the boy fell down.
Yeah, she was of the nobility.
The boy fell down on his knees. Do you hear me in the song?
Wait, who died?
Tupac. He fell down on his knees. Bitch, I was right next to him, still in this motherfucking goddamn right. I was boosting these lot of clothes.
Oh. That Kobe Bryant.
Bitch, I was still, bitch, it was that day, it was a day and night. Bitch, I was a day and night girl. So, bitch, when the boy fell on his knees next to me, I took him. Because I thought I was getting got. Yeah, oh my God, forgive me, Lord. I thought I was getting got. No, because they used to have those mystery security guards.
Yeah,
that's how they got it. Those secret shoppers. That's how they got it. Bitch, so when the boy fell on his knees right next, I thought, oh, right, stop him. Right. Bro, I was down there. Gathering. I was gathering for the violence. Like, they got Tupac. I said, oh no.
Oh no.
That nigga in the store yelling about Tupac.
Oh, they got Tupac. After that, I was like, oh my God. I gotta get out of here. They get niggas today. Bitch, I was gathering that shit to get the fuck out of here. We on high alert. I see the people moving all around in the like it was really they were really in a frenzy that he was murdered. And I was like, my God, but I had to gather my things. Yes. Who else died during our thing?
Tina Turner.
Yeah. Well, she was 80. I was like, red.
Right, I was like, okay.
Sometimes you just want to free. It's like, okay, try to live a good life. Take your red. That's how I wanted to do it. Yeah.
Chadwick Boseman.
Oh, yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah. It didn't shock me, though. I mean, it was sad, but it didn't make me stand still.
Because he was still working.
Yeah, he was still young.
Yeah, that's what I know. I told the Lord to let me work all the way up until the last day.
Somebody said Betty White.
You didn't cry with Betty White?
No. She was 99.
Yeah.
She was days away from 100. I didn't move with left eye. Not to say that it was okay that she died, but I'm just saying I wasn't.
Now, Kobe fucked me up.
Kobe Bryant fucked me up. Bitch, I won't get on the helicopter to this day.
I agree.
I'm not getting on the helicopter.
That Kobe shit fucked me because it was his daughter, Brian, those people, him. I was like, oh my God. We were getting ready for the show, remember?
I remember.
That morning, we was getting ready for the show.
Yeah.
Bitch. It's just like, you don't have to know. Wait, it's not like it ran into a mountain.
Yeah, they said that was, they said that it was instant. Because I always imagined that it was like spiraling down and it like you knew that it was coming down. But no, they said it was instant because it hit up. Because it was cloudy or something, wasn't it?
Cloudy, and then they were trying to get to a basketball game.
Yeah.
And at one point, they were I believe they were playing with the pilot.
Well, I mean, I kind of feel like they should have known that it was too cloudy or something and said, no, this isn't ideal weather to fly.
Yeah.
I mean, Ananda Lewis just died, yes. You remember Ananda Lewis?
Commissions over the past 25 years that have been done to work around these types of issues. What I know is the bill that was passed that I vetoed was a Maryland commission on reparations to study and then make recommendations to the governor in 2 years. Well, I am the governor, and I don't need 2 years. I want action. And so what we announced today were true action steps. We announced a mass pardon of over 7,000 individuals. for misdemeanor cannabis convictions, getting them back into the workforce.
You remember Anonymous? What? Huh? What? She just died the other day. She had cancer. Wow. I think was it breast cancer? I think it was breast cancer. Well, I wasn't alive.
Okay, that's why I said it. Like, we're not that old, JC. It's Steve. JC. Stevie Ray. Stevie Ray, we're not that old. Talking about that's scary. I'm a Harriet Tubman.
Yeah. You know, I told Madison the other day, it was some black girl on TikTok a couple of weeks ago talking about Harriet Tubman was a fictional character.
Well, it's because you asked me. Because right now, this week, I've been going through it on TikTok for a whole bunch. They still talking about that. Then he leaks an interview.
Right.
Oh, they still that. Then somebody done came across my podcast, the Outlaws podcast, which a new episode just dropped yesterday with Simone. Please make sure y'all listen to it and watch it. And we have a clip from it. You got it? Right. Yeah. Here we go.
Nice.
If you're dark skinned, you gotta chill with the transphobia.
Yeah.
Because you're first in line.
Mm-hmm.
Big women.
Mm-hmm.
If you with the transphobia and you're a bigger woman,
you're also going to be subject to it.
You gotta stop. You gotta chill.
It's going to hurt all of us.
It's going to swing on your ass too.
And I'm a big bitch too. That's why I was like, I have been called a man many times. Yes, many times. Before this too, I've been called. I've been accused. It's all of that. That's why I said all of our oppression is tied together. It's all tied together. So it's very upsetting to me when women of color are charged too.
10 years ago, Lululemon made a yoga type. They called it Alive, and we've been stretching ourselves in it ever since.
It only takes one bite to want another bite.
So everybody started to make think pieces, and they were doing all this type of stuff. And, you know, like a lot of dark-skinned women felt like that I was singling dark-skinned women, saying that dark-skinned women look like men. And that's not what I was saying. Like, I think sometimes people listen. Craig, what's the term? People listen to respond. Mm-hmm. Or they listen to find, just like they watch the show and they want to find pieces that's going to offend them. They don't watch the show for enjoyment or entertainment, or they'll take clips. People will take clips out of context, and it'll be rage baiting or whatever. Because you did see in the video, I said dark-skinned women, big women, like me, dark-skinned women and bigger
plus size,
not just plus size, big women,
like tall, okay, yeah,
and bigger, and you know. So there were so many women making think pieces, and everybody talking about, well, it don't have. I would like to say this: just because it doesn't happen to you doesn't mean it's not happening.
Right.
There were so many black women or dark-skinned women. Oh, look, there we go. I knew somebody was coming. I knew it.
What is that?
You a man. Don't ban him. Don't ban him yet. You a man, so please stop. What are we doing here? What is, I don't understand. But what do we do? Don't ban him yet. Because I'd like to understand where's the anger. What are we doing here? So after we've gotten past, I'm a man. After we've gotten past that, Where was the lie? Get past that type of man. Let's move past that, and because people can't discuss, let's discuss. Because people like to come with vitriol. They like to come with the. So we're here now. Let us discuss.
But I think, like I was saying to you yesterday, I think that, especially when it comes to content creators, I think sometimes they create stuff that's going to be salacious so that it can get the views, especially over there on TikTok, because you can make a lot of money on TikTok if people engage you. So whether it's a white person,
Hold on.
whatever.
Real Seductor said, explain. Real RLL Seductor said, can you explain? Because I don't understand the dark skin color. Okay. So, can you ask a lot of your other dark skinned sisters or brothers who have also followed up with this and said, hey, I've been, the darker you are, the more you're subjected to a lot of things.
Like colorism, because I said to you, colorism intersects the whole misgendering thing. A lot of times it's connected to that. Like when people are misgendered. Because where's that video where the guy? We can't say it.
There's darling Nikki.
Yeah, she said I'm a dark-skinned woman and I've been called a man sometimes. Because I mean, even we talked about it here before when I said Serena Williams. She's a darker woman. She's not dark, but she is a darker woman. But she's a darker woman. And she's been accused of being masculine or manly. Right? And oftentimes, I think there's colorism that's thrown in.
Go to Martin Vintage again, because obviously Martin Vintage they have a problem. I've never heard dark-skinned women being called masculine, having a dark-skinned mother was treated like a queen. Now, you're here, Martin Vintage, right? And you've said, sit down because I'm a man. You're also watching the chat. You're also seeing there are dark-skinned women sharing their experience. Now, I know you came in very hostile with trying to point out that I'm a man. Got it. We got it. Okay, we there. All right, girl, whatever. But my pronouns are she, her. When we're having a sensible conversation. You see the women, the dark-skinned women, in the comments saying that this is their experience. What is the aggression point? Mm-hmm. Is it because I was born male and I'm a transgender woman and I'm pointing out the intersectionality of colorism, misogyny, and transphobia in the same areas? Is it because intersections that you don't want to pay attention, and because your dark-skinned mother was treated like a queen? So your dark-skinned mother was treated like a queen. What about these other women who are sharing their experiences? Don't let the comments come up. What about these other women who are sharing their experiences and say, this has happened to me? What about these women who are now sitting in the comment section that is right here in this with you, and they are sharing their experiences? How do you navigate around their experience? Do you tell them, well, it didn't happen to my mother,
so it's not happening?
So it's not what you're experiencing is there.
And then part of it, what I said to you before, is because it's the messenger. They don't want to hear from you.
Well, I'd like to get this. They have the floor.
No one ever said anything about masculine. Everybody said.
I said they got to slow down on the transphobia because they usually are. And then there was some broad that came on there looking like Shannon Sharp. No shame, she hit below the belt. I'm not doing respectability politics, you bitch. Y'all hit me below the belt. I'm kicking you bitches in y'all prize. It's just what it is. I haven't leveled up to that level yet. I'm not Michelle Obama, who, by the way, has been called a man.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, has been called a man to this day.
Right.
And so I'm not. This bitch came on here and she gave very much so. She gave very Shannon Sharp with. I know that she will be immediately experience transphobia because I know that she may think that she all put, because she has pussy, but it definitely gets brick. There are girls that are clocking. There are women that are clocking, that are bricking. I'm sorry that it didn't. It's a wonderful thing that it didn't happen to your mom. We appreciate your mom for for being a very beautiful, dark-skinned woman that has never experienced that. Great.
But even if she wasn't experiencing transphobia, I'm sure she experienced colorism, especially from black people, because that is a thing in our community.
And so, you know, the lady that was on that, let me ask you so y'all can look for yourself. Because I don't want to read her without y'all seeing it, you know, without y'all seeing it for yourself. When I see her, I see a brick. And that's just me looking at her. And I was trying to give her grace because I'm like, girl, I mean, you are bricky, but I'm not going to say anything.
That's a good point, Tugga. Leslie Jones is another one that has experienced it. Leslie Jones from Saturday Night Live.
Travel gives you wings.
Travel can make you smell kind of funky, but aluminum-free secret full body deodorant gives me 72-hour full body freshness. A long way over. The side gate changes with heavy luggage, and it's totally middle seat approved. Secret, no sweat.
Yeah. Okay. But the point that I was making earlier too is like a lot of times I think people, content creators, will make this stuff just for the engagement. Like sometimes you'll see it with white folks saying crazy things about the deportation that's going on. They don't say something about black people because they know black people are going to get in the comments and engage them, and then their check goes up. Same thing with homophobic men. You'll see sometimes black men saying things about gay or trans people because they know that people are going to get in the comments and fighting, and then it's going to increase their views. They're going to get a check. So it's sometimes I don't even know if people believe this stuff. Going back to what I just said a moment ago, there's a black woman who has locks who sat on TikTok and said Harriet Tubman is a fictional character. Now, does she really believe that, or is that just some shit to say so that people can get in the comments, get fighting and falling and shit, and then she get a check? Like, you just don't know. People don't give a fuck what they say anymore.
Well, what I say it without trying to be divisive, but I just have a conversation. I was actually sitting across from a woman who they thought that she was black, or Hispanic, and they thought that I was letting her talk about dark women. She's actually Samoan, and she's like 6 foot. Drew Abuelo is like 6 foot something. Like she's taller and bigger. She's taller and bigger than me.
Yeah.
And I'm born male.
Right.
And she's a female. And she's taller and bigger than me. And she said, I get called a man a lot. Just hilarious herself. From her own mouth. And she's a darker skinned woman. She has experienced motherfucking transphobia because niggas done slid in her inbox wanting to suck that dick. Hey, bro. Now here we go. Now she respected. Now here was this broad. This jumped up because this is like, yeah, I gotta get into it. She already felt some type of way about me from the Nene Leaks video. I'm like, oh god, had these.
Before you play, look at that comment right there. I'm a dark-skinned woman. I be around straight men that say dark-skinned women look rough.
My grandmother's a dark-skinned woman. My mother is a darker-skinned woman. Bitch, I'm darker-skinned. Bitch, what the fuck? So, I'm not saying it as if I'm not a punk. I'm saying first in line after the punk, after the girls. You thinking I'm saying that you're going to get it first? Bitch, I'm talking about first in line after us.
Yeah.
All right, take the comment down and play homegirl. Take the comment down and play homegirl.
So T.S. Madison says, if you're a dark-skinned woman, you have to chill on the transphobia because we are the first in line. Bro, please. You said a whole bunch of nothing. First of all, I'm not transphobic. I just don't make the truth a lie. I know all too well about cognitive dissonance. And what you won't do is have me call you something that you're not. But please explain to me what are dark-skinned women first in line for? I'll wait, bruh. I can't believe that you all sit up here and let him gaslight y'all. That is sad.
She sounds slow.
Well, the sound is slow, the moving slow, the being slow, which we can see, but
That bottom row.
the bottom row
Made me think about Billy Porter.
the thing is, like, I could really dissect and bring her down to the floor if I chose to.
Right.
But listen, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
But ma'am, you certainly you have a lot more proteins than me. What she do? She does. And even though the people know that, well, she's a real woman, and okay, great. There might be instances where you may have to prove that. There might be instances, ma'am, where you may have to prove that. Just somebody may tiptoe through it and be like,
Mm-hmm.
I know that you know that you have a vagina. I know that you know that you have a vagina. I know that the people around you know that you're someone's daughter, or someone's sister, someone's niece. But sometimes when you tiptoe out here in the real world, in reality, girl, and you've gotten outside of that circle, that bubble that you're in, girl, there's somebody, because people in the comments are going to say that you're a brick. And not just because they're my fans. You don't give my European standard. This is all I'm saying. Your features are a bit more stronger. We know that you look more like your father. I can tell. I'm not shading her, but we know that we can see that you look very much more closer to your father. Let's play it again. Let her call me brother. Yes, I'd like to get a good look. I need to get a good look.
So T.S. Madison says, if you're a dark-skinned woman, you have to chill on the transphobia because we are the first in line. Bruh, please. You said a whole bunch of no. First of all, I'm not transphobic. I just don't make the truth a lie. I know all too well about cognitive dissonance. And what you won't do is have me call you something that you're not. But please explain to me what are dark-skinned women first in line for? I'll wait, bruh. I can't believe that you all sit up here and let him gaslight y'all. That is sad.
I just want to make the truth a lie.
Meaning that she's not going to shit her. Meaning that I'm not going to shit her.
Well, it seems like it would make more sense if I would not make a lie the truth. That didn't even make sense today.
She was saying, well, you know, she said enough for the people to get up under her, yeah, without telling her the truth. Ma'am, you look very close to your father, Earl. Yeah, you it's very Odell.
Very.
Roydale. Very Roydale. No, sorry. Roydale. It's very close to Roydale.
That black and
It's
white
very
filter.
close to if some white bitches was out somewhere and they wanted to terrorize you, and they called Alice because this is happening to women. This is happening to biological women, that these people are being shady and they're calling the police on them. They're calling the police on them in the women's room.
Where are you? I had to basically fuck a guy to get in that condition.
These women just experienced this. The male police came in to yank these women out of the bathroom because somebody thought that they looked like men.
Mm-mm.
And they were female. So again, it's not like I'm speaking into the air and stuff. You just don't want to hear it from me.
Babes, we're in our monthly hair era. And when I say dredge, I mean dredge. Now, with Cox Internet and Mobile, the price of your plan will go up for 3 years, guaranteed. And you'll get Wi-Fi equipment included and no extra cost. It's more of what you want and none of what you don't. Learn more at cox.com/value.
Now, I'd like to play another woman's video that kind of sums up
what definitely sums up what I was saying. I didn't mean any disrespect to any dark skinned women from a place but a lot of you hoes is just hell bent on selective ignorance. Yeah, whatever. So I'm not even apologizing. I know what I didn't mean. I know for those that kind of perceived it. Let's play from this very beautiful dark skinned Sudanese, right? Sudanese. She's from Sudan. This Sudanese woman. And do you know that people were in the comments saying that she was trans? I was like, what the fuck? This is a woman. What the? Go ahead. Yeah.
Ms. Madison said that as dark-skinned Black women, we should be careful with transphobia because we are first in line when it comes to transphobia. And a lot of Black women are upset, so let's talk about it. I understand why when you initially hear that statement, you could be offended because it sounds like you're being compared to a man. But that is not what she was saying at all. When it comes to transgender people being attacked, guess who has the highest rates of violence? Guess who was attacked the most? Guess who was unalived the most? Black, dark-skinned, transgender people, whether male to female or female to male, they have the highest rates. To put it in perspective, let's say you're walking down the street and there's a transphobic person who just happens to want to attack somebody that day. And they see you, a biological, dark-skinned Black woman who may or may not look masculine, because there are some Black women who are called masculine. That's not up for debate. And it's not necessarily a bad thing either, because a lot of people teeter on the line of being very feminine or very masculine because we're just human beings. So let's say they see you and they assume you're transgender. You think they're going to check your pants to make sure that you're actually a biological woman, or are they just going to attack you because that was their goal and they saw you as masculine and they attacked you? The colorism comes into play because we know that dark-skinned women are called masculine a lot. That's why a lot of women don't like light-skinned men, because they think light skin is feminine, so that means dark skin is seen as masculine. I'm not saying that it is, but that's just how society sees it, and that's also not up for debate. So we're going to be first in line, for one, because of the colorism, and for two, a lot of Black women are just called masculine all the time, and you guys can see it in the comments of these videos. There are Black dark-skinned women saying that, yeah, I've been called a man all of my life growing up, and they are biological women. So I don't know why we're trying to act like she was calling you guys men or she was being offensive. She wasn't at all. She's just saying that sometimes dark-skinned Black women are mistaken for being trans. Or I also went to search for any transgender women that have been attacked in 2025, and there have been several. So when we tell you that these things are happening, we're not just saying that to be offensive. So this is the
Hey, good work, people. Great job. Nice, we're still in business. Very well done. All of you. Very, very non-incriminating. Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. It's ironic given maybe now's not the best time to discuss irony. God, what is wrong with me? I'm usually such a high achiever, for a criminal.
almond eyes,
So,
big juicy lips,
before we
and thin
remove
nose.
Professor
Y'all will
Rashkovsky
probably
from
think,
his
yeah,
unwelcome
of course, this
stay
person
in
looks
prison, we've got to
transgender only
clean up a
because
few
you
other
know that
loose
they are.
ends pertaining to the case. Yes,
But when
it's
it
a
comes
killing,
to
but
real
no,
life,
it's nothing immoral at all.
sometimes
Just
it's
lawyers.
hard to tell.
Well, the professor's old
This is
business
another
associate and
transgender
two lawyers,
woman
but really it's all the same.
who's
I mean, I always say, if you can't kill a couple lawyers to bend the
been
law
put on the
to
bench
your
row.
will, then who
Are
can you
you
kill?
telling me you don't know a single
Oh,
Black
here they are.
woman who
Gavin
could possibly
Vandeloo
look like this?
and Josh Sherman. Get them on the way to City Hall. Get the documents they're carrying.
I mean,
Business
she
partner
dissected
is
it very.
Dima Popov. Extremely rich, extremely paranoid, and extremely horrible. Don't cry for this guy. No one else will. He's renting a place up in Richmond Glen. Just him. And a huge security team. Get close to him, take him down, and after that we should be ready to go.
for today. So it will be his British, French, German, and a representative of the European Union counterparts. What do you expect that those talks could potentially achieve that these indirect talks with the United States were not able to do?
Quite frankly, I'm not sure if they would achieve anything, because ultimately, at this point, the decision rests with President Trump whether or not he wants to directly enter the war and to hit Iranian targets. And I think that what the Iranians are hoping is that continued discussions would at least convince President Trump not to join and to have some sort of, to go back to the negotiation table in a way that is palatable to the Iranians.
What do you see in terms of leverage that Iran has?
But if you don't get it from that, then I don't know.
I'd like you guys to understand for the dark-skinned black women whose stories get swept under the rug and who's crying out and saying this isn't happening. I do highlight their stories because, you know, we'll get people to be like, I didn't happen, so it's not happening.
Yeah.
You know?
So because you've never been racially profiled or pulled over on the side of the road, snatched out of your car that doesn't have another black people.
Yeah, so, you know, I hate like that, you know, trying to make what their experience, you know, like, or it doesn't happen, you know, you got to listen to experiences as a whole. There was a woman that came in my inbox on my Twitter following this, and she said, I promised that I wasn't going to reveal her identity.
Okay.
But she said, "Good afternoon, Maddie. I've been a long-time supporter of yours, and I'm grateful to be able to share my story with you." She said, "Almost 4 years ago, I was raped, which I've always been open about, but I've never shared the details with anyone before. I was raped by someone I knew pretty well, and they were fully aware that I am a violent woman. This person was extremely intoxicated when he decided to abuse me that night. But one thing that always bothered me about the situation was that in that moment,
$6 years getting even coffee, $6.80. Only at Dunkin'. When you've got multiple parts that need just one answer.
Wait, how does these things work together?
Looks like you can just Google.
he thought I was a trans woman, choked me and threatened me about trying to trick him, knowing that I am a biological woman. It was in that moment that I realized how similar our experiences can be. I feel like the more biological black women acknowledge that they're women and face the trans women. I get mistaken for trans often because I'm very small-chested and have a very low cut. And I don't get offended by that because I see trans women as women and I don't listen on them as an insult. Thank you for letting me share my story with you and for everything you do. I support you always with you show love for trans women I care about. So what I received from this was this man was raping her under the guise of, bitch, you done got a sex change. Or you put, bitch, you put this and you done cut your dick out, but I'm gonna rape you. This is what I'm saying. I'm not going. That's the way I feel. It's like, bro, I don't have no. You always want to make something out. Kids don't like black women. A lot of women don't like women in any form. There's a lot of women that don't like women in any form, and definitely not the friendship. So we can sit down and have a conversation about that, about the way that that women scream protect black women, but you fucking this girl that you know people's.
Or you're the one. You're the.
Or you're the agitator. Or you're stalking this lady. Or you're outside. Or you're over here stalking this woman's business. Making appointments at this woman's business, black woman who needs help. You're making appointments at this woman's business. You're playing on her phone. You're doing these things, but yet it's like you gotta. Craig and I were having this conversation this morning, and I said, Craig, I gotta get it out before I say it wrong on the show. I'm just gonna say it whether it's wrong. A lot of y'all don't want to take accountability for the shit that you do. You want to be able to be the aggressor and the victim at the same time. You want to be able to. Well, I don't see what's wrong with it's the truth. I don't see what's wrong with calling you a him or just going completely out of the way to misgender me when you know what I'm saying, or whatever. And I eat it, and I be like, okay, well, I'm him then. You brick face ass bitch, Or I come back and I say something, and now I've killed the world, and it's just like, well, I'm supposed to be able to do this because you feel like I'm supposed to be able to do this because you are not a real female. You are a cosplay of me. You want to be me. And not only do you want to be me, bitch, I don't have to respect your existence because you're a fraud. And so because I don't have to respect your existence because you're a fraud, I get the opportunity to disrespect you. I get the opportunity to dox you. I get the opportunity to come hit you, or I get the opportunity to throw rocks in your house. I get the opportunity to pull up outside and be malicious to you. I get an opportunity to do this and have no accountability taken for it because you don't even supposed to be in this space anyway. Right. You're not supposed to be in this space anyway. You're not real. You're not even a human. You're a thing. Yeah. You're a confused man, and you want to come over here and this and that. The stuff that I hear, and I just be like, wow. And then when I pop back or I respond back, I'm not letting. I'd like for you all to know I'm not letting anybody dogpile me. Some shit I respond to, some shit I don't. But I'm not gonna let anybody dogpile on top of me and feel like that they have the right to do that because I wasn't born female. So you have the right to be an agitator.
And again, the parallel is it's no different than white people who think they have the right to just be nasty to black people just because they're white, or nasty to immigrants just because they weren't born in this country. There are parallels.
Correct. That's all I
That was good.
Got a bit of a problem. Some asshole got wind of what we were up to. Apparently killing a guy's closest associate puts a bit of a spotlight on him. Anyway, now I'm told they put a price on the professor's head, so we gotta move. Now, is that clear? Can we get going? All right? And remember, the professor's paying you, not me. Not me at all. So keep him alive. Based on this inmate transfer schedule, Bolingbroke are expecting a new arrival. One of you is going to intercept the transport, make sure it doesn't get there. Two of you are going to be taking our prison bus and making your way into the facility in its place. You'll be playing inmate and guard. Stay in character as long as it's useful, then make your way to the rooftops. I'll get on the radio and give you a path to the prof. Meanwhile, the pilot will have picked up the plane and be waiting on the evac in the air. Whoever stole the bus will be bypassing the prison and torching it somewhere discreet. After that, it's just a matter of getting your guy out of the clink and getting him onto the plane. Everyone flies out of there except for the bus thief. Professor Reshkovsky takes control of the plane. The three of you on board take a jump. The professor's out of U.S. airspace and reunited with his precious car. Simple. Should be the easiest money you'll ever make. Speak soon.
Teeth sensitivity is so common. Immediately it feels like, somebody's poking directly on their nerve. I recommend Sensodyne. Sensodyne toothpaste goes inside the tooth and calms the nerve down. And the patients say, doc, it really works.
Lesson number 3. They won't feel your fit out there until you feel it in here.
Looking like a snack. Want it? Eat it, cheese it.
Yes. Let me get to what I want to talk about. Before I play it, I want to say this. I really appreciate Amy. I just started following her again on Instagram. I had stopped following her for a while because to me it felt like there was always like some sort of a tussle. There was an argument somewhere with somebody about something, and I'm just very protective of my cheek, of my interview. And so I've never seen Basketball Wives or I've never seen any part of Southern Hip Hop. I used to watch Housewives of Atlanta many years ago, and far back. Yeah, Nene was still on the show when I was watching. Yes, and what's his name on that? 20. It's been a long time since I've seen Housewives, and I used to kind of watch a little bit of one that Beverly is on, Married to Madison, and I used to watch a little bit of that. But I just don't like a lot of you got to protect your image, because even when you watch, when you listen to certain music, some people listen to a lot of heartbreak music. Yeah. That shit affects your energy, right? Your overall physical. So I stopped following King Michelle, but when I tell you I am so proud of her for so many reasons, and she started working her way back into my heart when she did that reality show, and I don't remember the name of it, but she was talking about her surgery. This is after she had her BBL removed, and she was going around helping other women remove things, and so she was really starting to tell her story, and she was sharing how she finally said, I realized that I was doing this, augmenting my body for men, for a man, and so I appreciated that honesty. And when I say she sat down there under there with Cam Newton, and she got real honest about a lot of things, and the thing that I appreciate about her is that she didn't attack him. She looked at him directly in his eyes. She was very direct with what she said. And if that was a teachable moment, there are a lot of teachable moments. But people aren't always ready to learn. We did. And I think the thing with you and Nene was a teachable moment. I'm not here to say whether or not Nene got it or not. I don't know.
Here's the thing, Rick. Nene thinks like 90, and I used to say 99.
Right.
But Nene thinks like 98% of black women.
Yeah.
And I didn't call her for her thoughts.
Right.
I didn't crucify her.
Right. Exactly.
Those are her thoughts. Those are things that have been passed down to her. She lives in a world that's black and white.
Mm-hmm.
And once you step outside, once you get outside the matrix and understand that the matrix is multi-coded and things like that or whatever, everything is not black and white. You yourself have taught, you sitting next to me have taught me that sexuality is what?
Instinctive. It's how you're wired. It's not a choice. It's not a decision. You don't just wake up and say, oh, I'm going to be gay. Oh, I'm going to be trans. Now, you do wake up and decide, I'm going to live my truth. I am trans. I am gay. So you do wake up and decide to start moving in your truth. But nobody wakes wake up and decide that we were going to be black. We're just black.
Yeah. So people try to say you can't run sexuality or sexual orientation, sexual identity, or identity into anything with color. And I think that there's so many, um, intersections of that.
Yeah.
That can be that you can show like, hey, they run parallel with each other.
Right. And I think that sexuality, gender, all that stuff, there's so many layers to it. And I think that we're still just learning and understanding. I mean, look how there's now sexuality.
For those of us that are willing to learn.
Correct.
There are people that are like again, like 98% of the people that are like, nah, it's just not that. And those are women, those are gay men that feel the same.
Yeah.
Because the same amount of women that were hard at me, there were gay men that were saying the same thing. And which consistently, the more they post about it, consistently proves my point.
Right. And remember, they're a product also of patriarchy and all of that as well. So sometimes you can't escape it. They're victims of it as well.
And they proved my point because each gay man that was on top of that hill trying to die on that hill, you're not dating trans women.
Right. That's right.
You're identifying as gay. You're not dating trans women. So how are you speaking for the trans attracted men?
Right.
You can. How are you speaking for trans attracted men?
Free money. I'm down the
identity. When the question was asked to me, she asked me, do I only know gay men? I said, I don't date gay men, don't date me. And she said, well, what are they? I said, they're something. In the middle of her doing the interview and her whatever, I was trying to get out of verify.
Here we go. Okay, splitting into two teams. Transporter, officer, you're the ground team. To start with, you'll collect our bus from the junkyard at Sandy Shores. Demolitions, you're the perimeter team. You'll be hijacking the inbound Bolingbroke transport. The pilot's going to LSIA. And me, I'm gonna put up some smoke in a nice crowded public place. We've given everyone an AP pistol and a special carbine so there's no fighting over who's the favorite. Ground team, when you get to the bus, the officer's driving, the transporter's in the back playing inmate. If the perimeter team do their job, you'll go in place of the scheduled bus. No one will know the difference. This operation's burnt if you attract police attention, so keep your heads down. Got it? Okay, get to work.
Create your style. It's that easy.
What do you say to Elon Musk? Just calling a bill stuff.
Yeah, let me say this.
Straight, whether the fact, but I know that that's their identity. They
identify as a straight man.
But they didn't allow.
It's very disappointing. Beautiful bill is big. Not a lot of it is beautiful.
There is ample frustration within the ranks.
This is CNN. More people get their news from CNN than any other news source.
Welcome back. I'm Eric Hill. Here's a look at today's Exhibit 4. Diplomatic efforts to ease tensions between Israel and Iran will get underway on Friday in Geneva. Iran's foreign minister is scheduled to meet with envoys from the UK, France, Germany, and the European Union in the coming hours. One diplomat describing the talks as exploratory to, quote, fill the road. U.S. President Donald Trump says he will decide within the next 2 weeks whether to launch a military strike on Iran. They he wants to give diplomacy a chance before making the final decision. The White House going on to say Iran, in its view, is very weak and vulnerable after a week of strikes. And when it comes to those strikes in Israel and Iran, the latest Iranian missile strike on Israel sparking a fire in a technology park in the southern city of Beersheba. Israeli police report property damage, but no casualties. Dozens of people were injured when an Iranian missile hit near a hospital in the same city on Thursday. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu visited that hospital after the strike, where he told reporters on the scene he is grateful to President Trump for, quote, helping a lot in the conflict with Iran.
President Trump will do what's best for America. I trust his judgment. He's a tremendous friend, a tremendous world leader, a tremendous friend of Israel and the Jewish people. And we will do what we have to do, and we are doing it. We are committed to destroying the nuclear threat, the threat of the nuclear annihilation against Israel.
Israeli authorities say the missile that hit the hospital in Beersheba left dozens of people injured and caused extensive destruction. During such emergencies, Israel often deploys a specialized military search and rescue unit. CNN Jeremy Diamond shows us how they responded to a recent missile strike in a suburb of Tel Aviv.
Air raid sirens in Tel Aviv these days can mean only one thing: another barrage of Iranian ballistic missiles. For these soldiers, it also means being ready for what comes next. So like millions of others in Israel right now, we are in a bomb shelter, but we're with the elite rescue unit of the Israeli military. These are the people who are going to be going out and trying to rescue people should any of those ballistic missiles, which are now flying overhead, actually make impact. Minutes later, the team leaders head straight into the command center. Reports of strikes, interceptions, and falling debris are pouring in all at once. Lieutenant Colonel Golan Landsberg needs to make sense of it all and determine whether and where to deploy his team of specialists.
Looks like are they involved in open areas or
Right now you're trying to assess whether those two potential impact sites are worth your team going to and providing your
movies from scene,
so even that open source information from social media is being fed into your system.
Look like
that's it. This night, it's back to bed. But the next morning isn't nearly as quiet. 4 ballistic missiles have broken through Israel's air defenses. Lieutenant Colonel Landsberg decides to deploy to a strike on the outskirts of Tel Aviv. We drift our eyes on the scene of this ballistic missile strike. The scale of the damage is stark. A single missile has shaved off the side of this building, partially crushed another, wrecking cars and shattering windows and blocks. Colonel Landsberg and his team immediately into the building. Floor by floor, apartment by apartment, searching for casualties and evacuating survivors. Inside the building that was struck, it's easy to see how deadly this attack could have been. The destruction here is just enormous. I mean, it's hard to describe if you weren't to see these pictures. Everything is covered in dust and soot. And this right here is the building's gym, or what once was the gym. But while the people evacuating this building are shaken, they are alive.
5 minutes ago, we finished up scanning the entire building from bottom to top and take everyone.
The safe rooms seem to be making their job alive this year.
Oh, well, they save lives. It's very easy to consider. Save lives, you get in, 99% that you are still safe.
But as one war spills into another, danger still lies ahead. Jeremy Diamond, CNN, Tel Aviv.
The heightened tensions have the U.S. military repositioning its assets in the Middle East. We're going to show you a map. You can get a dot there. Those mark U.S. bases. Defense officials say non-sheltered planes are being evacuated from American air base in Qatar. Navy ships stationed in Bahrain have left port. The U.S. Central Command has also repositioned rather blood supplies in the region, which is standard procedure anytime there's a chance of an attack on U.S. forces. CNN military analyst, retired Air Force Colonel Cedric Layton, joins us now from Washington. So, Colonel Layton, in terms of those moves that we're seeing, that is, as I noted, in many ways standard operating procedure when there are heightened tensions in an area. Is there anything that stands out to you, however, in terms of what we're seeing with this movement, that draws concern for you or makes you think that something else could be on the horizon?
Well, Erica, yeah, as you mentioned, a lot of this is what we normally see in a case where there are certain things that we think might happen or could possibly happen. Now, in the case of things like blood supplies, that is a very key element when it comes to taking care of our casualties, and the U.S. military take great pride in basically achieving the kind of medical care that they need. When it comes to the other movements, the carrier movements and the air movements, there are a lot of elements to this that are very critically important with the operational success of whatever might come next. The prepositioning of the aircraft carriers in the Eastern Mediterranean and potentially in other parts of the Middle East, that is going to be, I think, a very important part of this. Whether or not the U.S. gets directly involved with the Iran attacks, it is also going to be a clear signal to Israel that there is support for a lot of what they're doing from a military standpoint, but it may not be direct involvement in the Iranian situation, at least not yet. So that's one element. The other thing is that we're not seeing massive movements of ground forces anywhere in the Middle East. So this is not like the run-up to the Iraq War in that particular sense. So there are a lot of differences with some of the things we've done in the past, but we're still getting ready to get our forces into place in case they need to pack a lethal punch or whatever might happen.
In terms of those considerations that are now happening, so President Trump announcing potentially a two-week pause for his decision as to whether there will be U.S. strikes on Iran. In that 2 weeks, I would imagine much of what is already happening would be continuing, right? Looking at what can and should be done, but also the aftermath. And that is where some of the movement that we're seeing and also these bases really come into play as there is heightened concern about retaliation. How much could this 2-week period tamp down some of those tensions?
Well, it depends on what the other side does, right? And so this case, the other side is going to be the Iranian side. And they might be positioned some of their assets. We mentioned earlier in the newscast that we were talking about one of the militias in Iraq that was potentially getting to attack American interests. So that's the kind of thing that we have to be prepared for. So what I'd expect on the American side is increased alert postures, potentially heightened force protection conditions. That would mean that we're basically getting ready to protect the assets, the American military bases, the American installations in that area. Plus, the host nations would also be getting ready to support any efforts to protect those bases. So there's a lot going on in that sense, but those two will allow us to do several things. They will allow us to get ready from a protective standpoint and from a policy standpoint, and also more offensive assets into the region that could potentially be used as leverage against Iran.
And of course, as you alluded to, that 2 weeks also gives other actors a chance to plan potentially. When we look at where things stand, I just want to know the IDF, just noting a short time ago that they completed a series of overnight strikes, saying that happened in the heart of Iran, attacking dozens of targets, including military-industrial sites for missile production, as well as headquarters of support and research and development at the SPAN headquarters of the nuclear weapons project. There's been so much talk as well from Israeli officials about what they have taken in terms of ballistic missile launches in Iran, how they tripled a good portion of that within the country. Also, the incoming missiles into Israel, Israel noting how much that could be depleting, frankly, the arsenal that Iran has. There are also questions about key sectors that Israel has been using and how much Israel has in its arsenal, because both will, of course, need to be replenished ultimately. Where do you think those stand from that perspective in terms of how long this can continue for both countries?
Yeah, basically, Erica, you've got both sides have different clocks at this point. That these clocks really are dependent upon the kind of resources that they have available at the moment, plus what they've lost in terms of use in the military campaign. So as far as Israel is concerned, they're going to be dependent on American resupply efforts, plus their indigenous efforts, they're probably in a pretty good position to stock up the gun receptors and the things that they need in order to complete their mission. And also their offensive operations. So those are protecting mission and protecting Israel, probably Iron Dome and getting other systems that they have for their defense. But on the offensive side, they also need to make sure that they continue to maintain the weapons that they have, and plus that they can supply all the missiles that they have on their aircraft, especially the F-35s and F-16s and F-15s. Now, when it comes to the Iranians, they have lost probably the Israelis are pretty accurate, around 40% of their missile supply, their offensive missile supply. Now, some of that not be able to hit Israel from Iran, but there is certainly a key element to it, and that is that about 60% of those missiles are around the attacks on the technical considerations of Israel and the hospital as well. So Iran still attacks opposing punch, but they have clearly lost air dominance, air supremacy over a large portion of their airspace, and they also have to move their missile launch facilities around in order to avoid detection by the Israelis. So they have a lot of challenges, and they may run out a bit sooner than the Israelis when it comes to their offensive weapons. So that could be a problem. But the other side of that is that Russia and China are probably looking at how they can possibly resupply the Iranians, at least clandestinely.
Yeah, and that is an important point as well. Colonel Cedric Layton, always appreciate it. Thank you.
You bet, Eric.
The U.S. president's decision to keep his options open about possible strikes on Iran isn't going over well with some of his loyal supporters. Donald Trump ran as a peacemaker. He promised to keep the United States out of foreign wars. But Jenny Sullivan reports some of the backlash comes from one of Mr. Trump's biggest supporters in conservative media circles.
This isn't a regime change effort, and why don't you say that? And you're a Holocaust denier. Stop. Let's have a rational conversation about what our aims are here.
That's Tucker Carlson, the war skeptic, today.
We learned today for certain that Iraq has weapons of mass destruction, has chemical and biological weapons. So the question remains, what do we do about it? And neither you nor any other Democrat I know has an answer to that question.
This was Tucker Carlson back when he hosted 2 Minutes Crossfire in 2003.
Senator Worthy, the president last night summed up, I thought, well, the rationale for going into Iraq later this week. Here's what he said.
The danger is clear. Using chemical, biological, or one-day nuclear weapons obtained with the help of Iraq, the terrorists could fulfill their stated ambitions and kill thousands or hundreds of thousands of innocent people in our country or any other. The United States and other nations did nothing to deserve or invite this threat, but we will do everything to defeat it.
Back then, Carlson was a strong supporter of America's war in Iraq.
The question here is the president's credibility. He wants to lead us into war, and the majority of his countrymen and women are worried that he's lying to us. Good reason. That is not the question. The question is there's a lunatic with weapons that could kill the civilized world. What do we do about it? And I await an answer.
It was a position Carlson would come to regret
when the war drums were beating for Iraq. It was just nothing like what we have today. I mean, like the biggest shows in cable news, they were all for it. They were all...
I was for it.
Yes, well...
I was for it until I went to Iraq in 2003. I immediately apologized. I would say the last events. And I feel very stung by what happened in Iraq, if I'm being honest. Possibly because I'm like you, I guess. I supported it. And I saw us get drawn into it in a way that nobody anticipated. And I saw the cost on $1 trillion. And the cost on so many levels to the United States was just so profound.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is warning Iran could have a nuclear weapon within months. U.S. intelligence, however, suggests Iran is years away from having a nuclear bomb.
Can you feel the frustration of people, including your voters, every American, at the emphasis on foreign countries and the threat we supposedly face, a lot of which is fake, obviously, over
the kind of slowly unfolding tragedy of what's happening to our country.
Carlson is a frequent supporter of Israel, but Senator Ted Cruz did not appreciate Carlson's questioning of the Netanyahu government's policies toward Iran.
How many people live in Iran, by the way? I don't know the population. At all? No, I don't know the population.
I thought they were sending
You know the population of the country you see.
collaborate and nearly get a ship for the pleasure.
How many people live in Iran?
Just
92.
give me.
Okay. Yeah, it's not that.
There are some screws I hope we run
And you can
into.
see now how much of this debate is really playing out in the world of podcasts and online video streams. The MAGAverse, as it is called, all these pro-Trump MAGA media influencers, really growing in influence. Back to you.
Appreciate it, Diana Sullivan, there with the latest 4 hours on that day. This is the LA Dodgers in touch. They're claiming that ICE agents showed up at their stadium and tried to get in on game day. The federal government, though, says that's not what happened. So, what did happen? Great details are next. That was a huge fireball lighting up the Texas sky Wednesday night when SpaceX's Starship exploded. Why the company did not do this? Let's step back. Program on your mom to 4 boys who make a lot of dirty clothes. Hides red lifting those heavy detergent containers and the big mess they make. Well, check out my latest life hack. Happy Hour laundry sheets. They're lightweight, compact, and mess-free. Just pull one out and drop it in. No more pouring or measuring. All you need is 1 sheet for the entire load. You save a good full cup of detergent. The secret is a powerful cleaning formulation embedded in the fibers. The whole sheet quickly dissolves in water. Watch this. I'll put a sheet in. It works in hot or cold water. See how fast it dissolves? Look at this stain. There's no wasting time with the pre-treater because Happy Hour has a built-in stain remover that breaks up stains fast. The formula has a color protector. Plus, hypoallergenic, perfect for sensitive skin, and it's eco-friendly. So plastic containers like this won't end up in landfills, but it's still a powerful stain fighter. It works in all types of washing machines. This shirt was stained with cherry juice. I'll place 1 sheet on top and water. In just seconds, the stain is gone. Check out what people said outside the grocery store. It's just so heavy to walk around. I would love like cheap like these. They bought 60 months and it can change the proof. It's crazy.
Doing laundry just got a lot easier. We're gonna get some of these.
Start Happy Hour sooner. Call or go online now to get Happy Hour laundry sheets. Enough for 120 loads for just $14.99 with free shipping. That's right. Call now or go to our website and get a full month of Happy Hour for 50% off our regular price. Happy Hour ships right from the USA, and I guarantee Happy Hour laundry sheets will make laundry days easier or you'll get your money back. Call or go online to get yours today.
Call 1-800-960-9570 or go online to buyhappyhour.com. So call 1-800-960-9570 or go to buyhappyhour.com.
A spotlight's powerful beam is designed to be seen from miles and miles away. And now that power can be put in the palm of your hand. This is the brand new chargeable spotlight. Designed with rechargeable LED and laser technology, this light shines a beam that is insanely bright. It can project up to a half mile away, visible from up high in the sky.
Even from atop this skyscraper, easily lights up buildings from across the skyline.
To elaborate the ear was turned completely off on as soon as I was I don't gave in on that.
Yeah.
Oh bitch, well wow, oh yeah, yeah. Ain't no way no nigga want to on me. That's not true.
Listen, yes, gay men sleep with trans men. I know that.
What?
What? I don't know what she's trying to say there.
Or maybe because I don't know if she doesn't want to use the term gay men. You know, sometimes they be like, well, I'm not going to call you a trans man.
Right.
But you have to, if you're trying to say trans men, yeah, gay men don't use the trans men, but they use them on the masculinity aspect of it. Because Scott, big dick ass Scott, my son, oh, okay, I'm sorry. But I want to elaborate on this while I have you here. Big dick ass Scott identified as a homosexual man. He tells me we were just having this conversation at 5 o'clock this morning. Scott said to me, I love
to fuck with on a trans man.
Right.
He said, but I don't want to fuck with you, and I don't want to transgender women. He said, but I like trans women because the trans men, the aesthetic is nice.
Right.
And so again, we can't put everything in black and white.
That's what I'm saying. I think there's still too many layers to this that we're still unraveling. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're still going to uncover stuff. That's what I'm saying. That's how we
Guaranteed. That means no annual contracts. Plus, your Wi-Fi equipment is included. And you'll get unlimited data at no extra cost. It's a lot more of what you want and none of what you don't. Call today or visit cox.com/value to learn more.
Well, there was a time that I felt excited by something. This is a joke. These are real adults. A grown people conversation. Bitch, I'm almost 50. I didn't have a problem with it. I see that you're grown or whatever, you know, and I respect your craft. I told her that.
But you both accepted kind of the filter kind of guy.
I respect your craft. I understand that everyone feel the way about, you know, men, they probably would have endorsed it. But as you feel a star, you got those followers that feel excited by that. Yeah. You know, like that you're lower than whatever, you know. Right. And she understood it. She received it because she was over it. She received it. Or whatever. And bitch, I told her, I said, bitch, I can just play that. That's my mother. That's a, listen, she could never do a concert with that. I don't give a fuck if being I said it right. He's like, he's not a star. It's fine. He's already grown. He's already grown. It's so interesting how you supposed to do my Facebook on the monitor. But that's what I was going to do. You don't do that. Yeah, you don't do that. Yeah, you go ahead and do that. And I'm gonna wait to talk about this in the when we come back. So in this moment, I want to talk to you all about pay for your stay. There's a link down there, please, for Fan Talk 125. Listen, this is really important. This is very important. I know many of you are already in paid for your stay. If you're in paid for your stay, you have made money doing paid for your stay, and you would do it all over again because you benefited from it. Please put a 1 in the chat. I want to talk to the people. We almost have 11,000 people watching. I wish I'd done this the other week. We had 20,000 people. The administration is really cutting a lot of jobs. They work in government or whatever you think they work in the private sector. The bottom line is you see the ones in the chat. There are a lot of people who are already part of Pay for Your Stay. The link is scrolling at the bottom. It's payforyourstay.com. No, put the one with the other one down in there. It's fine if you got that one in there. It doesn't matter. It's fine if you got it. It's fine. It's fine. It's really down. It's fine. But go to www.payforyourstay.com and promo code FASTTALK125. Pay for Your Stay is market research. This is an extra stream of income for you to make extra money. You don't even have to leave your home. You don't even have to leave your home because a lot of these studies are done virtually through Zoom. There are mock trials. There are product testing things. So it's basically not a certain stop speaking about something you know nothing about. This is market research. Major companies. It could be Apple, it could be Lens, Jaguar, it could be appliance companies, whatever it is. They want their opinion about their product. They're releasing a new product, they're releasing a new service, whatever it is, and they want to testify. And they may select you. So
and pay for your favor. Kimberly Julie teaches you how to get selected for these groups. You do not have to live in the United States. You can live anywhere around the world. There are people who are in Dubai, Canada, the Caribbean, you name it. You could be in any state in this country as well. This money is not taxed. Most times, sometimes it is taxed to take over a certain amount with the same particular market research company. But oftentimes it is not taxed. Again, please visit payforyourthing.com. At least just go over and get the information. Scared money don't make no money. That's what some Harold said in the comments. Again, if you are still currently working and your job is not indefinitely, or you may think that your job is indefinitely, this is the time to sign up to get it. You can take it 125 or installment. There are people who are watching right now. People can tell that I got $600 for arcade games. There will be people who will tell you that they're making thousands of dollars a month. We spend a lot of time as black people talking about how we gatekeep, but we don't always share the knowledge, share the information. Somebody in the comments said that it was a pyramid scheme. I'm sitting here telling you, I would not sit here and tell you that this is a way to make money. It was not. This is a legitimate way to make money. It is recession proof. And again, you can pay the 125 in 4 installments because there's Afterpay, there's a firm, there's Klarna, and you can start right away. You don't even have to wait. You don't even have to wait to make the 4 payments. So again, that's all I want to say to you about it. Just get some information over at payforyoursafe.com. The promo code is FAGTALK125. Normally charges $125 to sign up. Right now, it's $25. All right, Madison and I were promoting Pay for Your Safe. Fag Talk Born. If you remember that day, when she said, we're trying to have a little fag talk, I really was there just to talk about Pay for Your Safe. Kind of bring you guys in and help you guys get extra money. Because again, administrators are not playing with black folks. It's not playing with people who are not in the upper class, at that 1%. So this is an opportunity for you to make extra money. Those of you who have college students, those who are in college, may not want them to work. I said here the other week, I think black people have said that on my own podcast. But I said that black folks should be able to go to college without having to go to work. They should be able to focus on their education. This is a perfect opportunity for them to make money from their college dormitory or from their apartment. When I was in college, I was fortunate. I didn't have to I was in college. I have members who are making money. Yes, if you live in New York, you live well, you'll be out of the I was saying, what was I saying now? There are members who have children who are in private school. They're paying the tuition with this Pay for Your Safe. It's extra money. You get paid through Visa cards. You get paid through PayPal. Sometimes it's through Zelle. Sometimes it's through Cash App. And oftentimes you get paid right after the study is done. Typically, the studies are about 90 minutes, but they'll tell you when you get the paperwork about it, they'll send you an email. That's all I want to say about it. But just visit payforyoursafe.com, promo code FAGTALK125. I promise you, there are people that come up to you. There are people who come up to us. There are people who come up to me at the meet and greet the Fag Talk and say, oh my God, thank you so very much for putting us on the Fag, Pay for Your Safe. I've made money from it. Thank you so much for not gatekeeping. Please just try it. Can you make a dirty martini for me? I have olives upstairs. Can you make a dirty martini for your mama? Okay. Hey, Michelle. Okay? On the Cam Newton show. So again, I just want to say thank you. It's so intentional. It's so poised. Looking directly in his eyes. And I think he heard it. Now, whether or not he's going to get it, I don't know. But that was a teachable moment. And I think that he put a heart out there. I think he spoke for a lot of black women. Not just black women, I think he spoke for a lot of black people. Because Dineva just did an interview with Tez. She sometimes comes in on the Breakfast Club with political commentary. But she did this is on Revolt TV. And he spoke about black men and how black men, some, not all, some black men are showing
showing up in the world and not really pulling their weight in the black community. And so I want you guys to hear what Kay Michelle says. Please listen closely to what she's saying. Yes. And again, going back to what we said earlier, yeah. So going back to what we said here, if you're not a fan of Kay Michelle, that's fine. The message. It's not about the messenger. It's about the message.
Just one, huh? So the drug laws are keeping us full. Come on.
Well, being in Atlanta all the time, one of those fields where it's predominantly white. One, they go home with that to keep the farm when they're producing, but they go home to their family. Being a person if you are a trainer in country music, you're a man, if you are an artist, it is disrespectful.
As long as they think you're an inmate in a guard, they
Failure
should raise
is
the alarm.
expected in country music in that space. But in our space, we are singing about side chicks. We are singing about, we are glorifying the life of you can call a woman a businesswoman, because they're not even listening to your music, and your professional career is better. At what point in the black community does our men create real home? And even talking to our first time talking, and he said, you didn't even need that to happen. Life happens. I'm not never going to hate. I'm looking at a successful
So much for
black
that. The
man
facility's on alert.
that
You move for
has the
Rishkovsky.
ability
Go west along the
to
walkway, taking a
live
left at the fork.
in the narrative of black folk. And my grandfather, I watched my uncle grandfather, told family, they're teach the value of education, what a man creating a black family is supposed to be.
Prison's involved now, but there's only one path to Rishkovsky.
Black men can really step up for black men and create families.
I thought they were sending professionals. I collaborate and nearly get a ship for the pleasure. Just give me... Guys, there are some screws I hope we run into. Let's go!
It's not cool. And I like to view all the successful black men.
Asset acquired. Get to the pickup. Paycheck is in your hands, transporter. Protect Rishkovsky. Officer, you're cleared. Call for the transporter in Rishkovsky. Get the man off the line. This is how it's gonna work. You're gonna clear the area, then Rishkovsky.
Because there's so many other things around people that it's not work. Work is what owns the black family. We are consistently creating a cycle of kids who took some time to see their value. And until I'm saying, at a different point, is the successful black man in this world
Small gap between the two buildings to your west. That's your exit out of the northern yard. Really, to incentivize this, we need Rishkovsky out of the country quickly and in good health. The better you do those things, the better you're paid. Remember, a surge on Rishkovsky is a scratch off your paychecks, and the quicker you get them out, the more you're paid for it.
But at one point, you take that black man. You are home and show your kids what it's like. At one point, when you take a big thing, take teaching for the green person, things like that, it is
follow it. They follow the lead of others. They simply go. That's about it. So like
I should say, I've been impressed by your professionalism.
talk about
I'm going to go into
now,
it. Orange County is part of something bigger, way bigger. I need to make a few more inquiries, and we'll be ready to go on a job that requires your particular skill set. Don't retire on me just yet.
But like you said, but just because you can take care of your children, that means you got to have kids. That goes back to what I talked about here about that.
What are you doing? What you doing?
Yeah, well, what about that? You know what I mean? It's like we never accomplish when we do that. And again, I'm the last person that's going to say, well, we need to pay attention to white folks. No, that's not what she's saying in this conversation at all. So if you were typing anything in that direction, you missed the message. You missed it. You need to respond. Selective ignorance.
Oh, it's ignorance. It's ignorance. It's absolutely ignorance.
Assassination, the defense minister Israel Katz saying that Khamenei cannot continue to exist. Remarkable words there from the defense minister to the leader of Iran. But it will be interesting to see whether or not there are many people that do come out onto the streets. Obviously, the regime loyalists who would expect to be out there, but there are many in Iran that do not support this Iranian government, but they are also extremely angry and fearful of the Israeli strikes against them. Erica?
Caller, appreciate it. Thank you. Just ahead here in the CNN newsroom, our team in Tehran getting rare access to a TV station hit by an Israeli missile. A look at that aftermath. Plus, Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping discussed the conflict between Israel and Iran, and they are now sending a message about what they believe should happen next.
Lunch is on me today.
Awesome. Why?
I have some extra cash right now. I started using Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, are you saying you get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Is that actually that for anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash.
Right? You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back?
It's like free money. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Use this promo code and get an extra 25 cents a gallon cash bonus on your first tank.
Thanks.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right, you can earn real cash back with Upside just for buying the gas you're already buying. Download the free Upside app now. Earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code REPAIR25 for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank.
Did you download the Upside app yet? Yes, of course. I'm not passing up free.
What the hell, Evan?
Good to see you again. This place is cool. Thanks for the
Just
hookup.
download the free Upside app and use promo code REPAIR25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. If you drive, you need Upside. Earn cash back on every gallon of gas you buy. Plus, you can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other.
If it ain't, yes, one of the two.
Good to see
You know, because again, like, and she's not at all saying, she's just saying, what's happening over there? We have to pay attention.
What are you doing?
How do you think they appropriate? They pay attention to what the fuck they're doing. And so I commend her for sitting there. And again, I don't know if he's going to receive it. I don't know that. But he said, waving a white flag. He said, I hear you. Now, whether or not he's going to, we got to make black women accountable. Not to say that we don't have to make black women accountable, but I just wish that in that moment, you could allow her to say what she said. And just let it go. You could have said that later. That wasn't the moment. Yeah. Now, in perfect example, it's right. It is right. And then to find out.
What you doing?
Yeah. The grade of he thought that's it. But while we still here, before we move from it, I want to say this too. And I've said this here. I said it on Telling Our Stories. There's a crop of black men. Again, we're not talking about all, because that was another thing. Well, it's not all black. We know it's not all black men. I can say black men in a couple of. What I'm saying is, there's a crop. Oh, a crop. Like a harvest, a small crop. Yeah. There's a crop of black men. Right. There's a crop of black men. There's a crop of black men who have gotten stuck.
Tony Francosis, you know? I'm thinking an open tab at Mason Neck.
Black women and a crop of black men have made it through, right? And has achieved some level of success. And I've said this before, and a lot of people got upset with me. It was on Telling Our Stories, and then I saw it in the comments people were upset. When you look at the ratio of black gay men versus black straight men, black gay men are by far more successful and more educated than black straight men. Now, when I say educated, I mean degrees. I don't mean that we're necessarily smarter. I mean degrees. And when it comes to income, black gay men typically make more than black straight men. Ratio. I'm not talking about numbers. I'm talking about ratio. And what I have said before is black gay men and black women have figured out a way to navigate this society in a way that some black straight men have not. There are things that black straight men could learn from black women and black queer people, but they refuse to because they're too homophobic to deal with the queer men or queer people, black women. And they want to mansplain shit to black men. They don't think a woman can teach them or tell them anything. They think they know it. But
You have started it, we will finish it, as Tehran's leadership says it won't back down. If the Zionist regime's hostile actions persist, our answers will be even more decisive and severe, the president said. And Iran saying the Israelis are also targeting civilian installations, taking us to the state channel IRIB, recently bombed by 2 Israeli airstrikes. An anchor had been reading the news as the building was hit. This is that studio now, burned out, with only a skeleton of the charred anchor desk left. Authorities say 3 state TV employees were killed here. You can see how much heat must have been emitted by the impact and by the explosion. The phones that they had here are molten. Here also, the keys molten. This screen, and there's actually someone's lunch still at their desk, standing here, which probably they would have been wanting to eat until they had to evacuate the building. You can see there's a spoon here that's also been melted away by this explosion. And the devastation here is massive at the Iranian state broadcaster. Iran's leadership vows to persevere, saying it will continue to target Israel if the Israeli aerial campaign doesn't stop. Like in CNN, Tehran.
The conflict between Israel and Iran is also playing out in cyberspace. Pro-Israeli hackers are taking credit for stealing $90 million from Iran's largest crypto exchange on Wednesday. The hackers claim Iran used the crypto exchange to skirt international sanctions. In a separate attack, the hackers say they destroyed data at Iran's state-owned bank country. They claim it was used by members of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Iranian media reported the cyber attack disrupted services at ATMs around the country. Iran has broadcast on that hackers in the region. Cybersecurity organizations are advising U.S. businesses to be on high alert. Meantime, a powerful Iran-backed militia in Iraq is bound to attack U.S. military bases in the Middle East if the U.S. ends the conflict between Israel and Iran. The security leader of the group, Hezbollah, warned that American bases in the region will, quote, become akin to duck hunting grounds. The group also threatened to shut down the Strait of Hormuz, which of course is a key and also key oil points in the region. Meantime, Moscow says forcing regime change in Iran would be a red line for Russia. In an interview with Sky News, the Kremlin also said assassinating Iran's supreme leader would open Pandora's box and unleash more extremism in Iran. Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping discussed the crisis on Thursday and sent thinly veiled messages to Washington. As CNN Claire Sebastian reports.
This was a previously unscheduled call between Presidents Xi and Putin, and on the one hand, it shows the global geopolitical divide hardening around the Iran-Israel conflict. Russia and China, of course, 2 allies of Iran, both, according to a Kremlin aide who briefed on the call, roundly condemning Israel. China calling on, quote, major powers to de-escalate the situation, according to a readout from the Chinese Foreign Ministry. Clearly, thinly veiled reference there to the United States. Both countries have not only a shared desire to counter U.S. influence globally, but they have economic skin in the game. China is by far the biggest buyer of Iranian oil, and Russia built Iran's only nuclear power plant at Bushehr and is currently building new reactors there. Putin saying on Wednesday Israel has agreed to ensure the safety of the Russian staff at the plant. But both Russia and China have also offered to mediate in this conflict. And for Russia, especially, which still maintains open lines of communication with Israel, this is a crucial opportunity to appear as an indispensable regional power broker and, of course, to keep the door open to resetting relations with the United States, Israel's biggest backer. President Trump, though, had signaled openness to the idea of Russia mediating, toughened his stance on that on Wednesday, saying that he told Putin, quote, let's mediate Russia first. A reference, of course, to the faltering U.S. efforts to bring an end to Russia's war in Ukraine. That's Sebastian, CNN, London.
President Trump taking some heat over possible U.S. strikes on Iran, but this is not from political opponents. It's coming from some of the most powerful voices in the world of conservative media. That's just it.
It has to be a conversation because, I'm just good. Right, no, she's listening. You just pay attention to what I'm saying. I'm not saying I haven't interrupted prayer. Right. I have been on my phone. That's right. You just let me cook and get ready to eat.
But you have to understand this, because I know there's somebody there's specific things. And I know that they don't back. I get that. What I'm also saying is, how is it that some of us have managed to overcome it? That's been an issue. Black straight men to navigate through this society. There are black, and I'm just going to further delineate it too. There are black gay men who teach straight black men, and if we sit down and have a conversation, how to get through it. But we can't have a conversation with you because you think you know it. You think the gay is going to jump off the peak. And then you make all these excuses once you get shift the blame. You want to say that, oh, white men don't mind elevating women or gay men because you are soft, you are weak, and you're not a threat to them. No, that's not it. That's not it. And yes, we could say, well, black women should stop opening their legs and have babies. That's a part of it too. But the conversation also is, so there's a plus and a minus in everything. But the other part of it is, black men, stop having babies. So it goes in both directions. So if we're going to keep doing the back and forth, we're never going to get anywhere. We have to move past that. And I think that this is a beautiful introduction to that. Like, I'm proud of him. I hope you can see it, but I hope she keeps on it. And she has a lot of black people who follow her and look up to her. And these are the kind of support that he's got.
I think he's heard it, but I don't think it was. I think he heard it. He sat in it for a minute and was like, because immediately the last of this was, I hear I was saying, but we got to hold that. We got to hold black people accountable. So that just went out of the airways. That were listening.
Yeah. And that's what it was about. Hopefully that conversation will send a vibration into the universe. A ripple effect will happen. And it will slowly start to permeate and maybe it will affect some sort of thing.
Well, it wasn't received by him, but we were hoping that the people, the other men that were sitting around him, received that.
Right.
We're hoping for that.
Right. But she said some things in there for sure. Definitely said some things. But like she said, a country music artist would be respected for calling women bitches and hoes and all that kind of. They wouldn't even support your music. But we run out and we buy them, and they allow, and I'm using the word allow. They allow us to use those kinds of words in our music because they don't give a fuck. But they don't allow us to say that kind of shit about them. They were upset with Jay-Z on that 444 album because he said the Jewish people own all of the real estate. They were upset with him about that. And see, this goes back to what I said, I think the last time we were here. The truth isn't always anti-Semitic. Everything ain't anti-Semitic, okay? But see, sometimes I think that is used to quiet people, to put fear in people. Oh, that's anti-Semitic. That's all I want to say about it. Okay. Amanda Field. Oh, it's in the. Oh yeah, put that Amanda Field up there. We're talking that. You see it in the chat. I'm gonna give you what you can't give up. Somebody. I may have texted to you. I texted it. It's in our group text. While I'm looking for that, let's give it to this. I can't give up. Byron Allen reaches the settlement with McDonald's for $10 billion. He had a $10 billion lawsuit against McDonald's over TV advertising. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Byron Allen. Sorry, Byron Allen. Byron Allen owns the Weather Channel. Byron Allen owns the Weather Channel. He is a billionaire. And
by Press Secretary Carolyn Levitt in a White House briefing. And in fact, it's the bottom of the list. What happens at the end of there is no deal? Cable still aren't entirely clear. Does that mean the U.S. will automatically get involved? What does U.S. involvement look like? Are we talking about strikes? Are we talking about something more than that? And specifically, the other part of this is why 2 weeks? Why this extension? That was something that I posed to Press Secretary today.
You say that on the they are constraining the United States law. Why do you say that they are not going to continue to do so until basically give them now 2 weeks or 50 days?
Bring the stuff to me at the warehouse under the Los Santos Freeway in East Vinewood.
Of what we're seeing with this movement, does that draw concern for you or makes you think that something else could be on the horizon?
Very critically where the operational success of next position So that's one of the other things that we can see versus identifying the these things actually a lot more sense. So I know a lot of differences with some of the things we've done in the past. However, we're still going to go to get our forces into place in case it doesn't happen with action or whatever.
In terms of those considerations that are now
So President Trump announcing essentially two calls for his decision as to whether there will be U.S. strikes in that 2 weeks. I would imagine much of what is already happening will be continuing, right? Looking at what can and should be done, but also the aftermath. And that is where some of the military agencies is really coming into play as there is heightened concern of retaliation. Much of this 2-week period can then help some of those actions.
Well, if the other side does, right? So in this case, the other side is the Iranian side, and they might position some of their assets to eventually these checks that the Russians will have operators potentially getting ready to attack interests and that's the prepared for. So what I expect on the American side is that these postures potential protection provisions
And of course, in addition to this, that 2 weeks also gives their actors a chance to potentially. When we look at Sam, I just want to
What you got?
Just noting a short time ago that they completed a series of overnight strikes. Saying
10-year mandatory minimum, it may be a felony murder. Okay.
Missile production.
That's perfect. I'll just leave it there. Now, if you're asked, under interrogation, I wasn't here. Unless it's Trevor who's interrogating, in which case I was very much here.
Ballistic missile launchers in Iran, how they crippled a good portion of that within the country. Also, the incoming missiles into Israel. Israel noting how much that could be depleting, frankly, the arsenal that Iran had. There are also questions about the interceptors that Israel has been using and how much Israel has for its arsenal. Those both will, of course, need to be replenished ultimately. Where do you think things stand from that perspective in terms of how long this can continue for both countries?
Yeah, basically, Erica, you've got both sides have different clocks at this point, and these clocks really are dependent upon the resources that they have available at the moment, plus what they've lost in terms of use in military campaigns. So as far as Israel is concerned, they're going to be dependent on American supply efforts plus their own indigenous efforts. They're probably in a pretty good position to stock up with interceptors and doing the things that they need in order to continue their mission. And also the offensive operations, so that they protecting Israel on the way out of since the people also their defense make sure that they can maintain the weapons that they have, plus that they resupply all the missiles that they have, especially the F-35s. Yes, it's that big to this big when it comes to the Iranians. They lost the estimates are pretty accurate, about 40% of their missile supply, their offensive missile supply.
Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing?
That's about 60% resources are around. So the space and also launch facilities to avoid detection by the Israelis. So they have a lot of challenges. I think the this that the Israelis when it comes to their offensive weapons, that could be a problem. But the other side of that is that Russia and China are possibly resupply the Iranian
Decision to keep his options open about possible strikes on Iran super overwhelmed some of his most loyal supporters. And Donald Trump, of course, ran as a peacemaker, promising to keep the United States out of war wars. Mr. Sullivan reports some backlash now is coming from one of Mr. Trump's biggest supporters in conservative media circles.
This isn't a regime change.
What's up, man?
Just say that. And, you're a Holocaust.
Yeah, I heard the traffic was intense on Dorset Drive today.
Let's have a rational conversation about what our aims are here. That's Tucker Carlson and yours ending today. The Lord's neighbor circle around this with
All right, y'all. I'm going to bed. Y'all have a good night and a good Friday, and I will see y'all later. Good night. You know, any pressing announcements I gotta give to y'all? I don't know. Everything
this threat, but we will do everything to defeat it.
Back then, Carlson was a strong supporter of America's war in Iraq.
The question here is the president's credibility. He wants to lead us into war, and the majority of his countrymen and women are worried that he's lying to us, and for good reason.
That is not the question. The question is there's a lunatic with weapons that could kill the civilized world. What do we do about it? And I await an answer. It was a position Carlson would come to regret.
When the war drums were beating for Iraq, there was just nothing like what we have today. I mean, like the biggest shows in cable news, they were all for it. They were all.
I was for it.
Yes, well,
I was for it until I went to Iraq in 2003. I immediately apologized. I would say in my defense, and I feel very stung by what happened in Iraq. If I'm being honest, possibly because unlike you, I guess I supported it, and I saw us get drawn into it.
Okay. Good night, y'all. Y'all have fun. Be safe. Whatever y'all plan on doing. It's a wonderful Friday.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is warning Iran could have a nuclear weapon within months. U.S. intelligence, however, suggests Iran is...
I'll be at work, unfortunately.
Can you feel the frustration of people, including your voters, every American, at the emphasis on foreign countries and the threat we supposedly face, a lot of which is fake, obviously,
Girl.
over the kind of slowly unfolding tragedy of what's happening to our country.
Carlson is a frequent supporter of Israel, but Senator Cruz did not appreciate Carlson's...
Ooh, my battery's almost dead, too. Ooh, girl.
Policies.
It is definitely time to go to bed.
I don't know the population at all. No, I don't know the population. You know the population of the country you seek to topple?
Well, good night, y'all.
How many people live in Iran? 92 million. Okay.
Have sweet dreams.
Could you not